this video is going to be how to skin a deer. It's going to be a longer video and trigger warning. So where these lines are is where you can cut to. So start off cutting right there at the leg where we made these lines. You finally get to see my boss. Yay! So back to what I was saying with the trigger warning. It's going to be gross. Sorry. I'm a taxidermist. So start off cutting on the legs after you cut the front legs at that part. And just be very careful to skin around the edge of it. Try to leave most of the meat on the body because as taxidermists, all we want is the hide. We don't care about the meat. We're just going to cut it off anyways. So just give us the hide. Be very careful. Try not to cut it. If you cut down this far and you're getting like a shoulder mount, it's not that important. We're just going to cut off anyways. But it's best to leave on as much as you can. So then the taxidermist can decide how much they need to leave on to use. Usually where the other green tape line is where we cut it off at, but every taxidermist is different. No one does it the same. So go onto your other leg and start cutting around it just the same way. Just be very, very careful with it. And then make your way down. My boss already cut the butt hole out of it, so that's done. All that's left on it is hide and meat. So work your way carefully around the back of it, just doing the same thing, just barely touching it with the knife. We use a scalpel. You can use any kind of sharp knife as long as you're very careful, very gentle with it. Scalpels are the easiest thing, but not everyone has a scalpel laying around. So see, he's just touching it very gently, very easily along the hind quarters of it. And then you can actually take the tail and make fishing lures out of it, or, you know, whatever you want to do with the deer tail. But we're not going to use it, so. This is kind of the whole thing, but I wanted to include it, the entire video, what happens here. So just go around and just touch it very gently and get all of it off. Notice here how some of the meat was left, but I mean, that's fine. If it's some meat, we can cut it off. But you see, the white is the membrane. So you want to try to get on the other side of the membrane, on the hide side of it. So then you're not getting into the good stuff that you're going to want as a hunter. Or if you donate it or give it away, you know, something that someone can use. Now that hole in the side is where the hunter shot it. This deer was given to us for my boss to have cut up so he can have meat from it. I think it's really cool here that you can see where the spine is. I just wanted to note that. In the meat that's left on the hide, you can see the spine. I thought it was cool. So we're getting close to where we normally cut it off at to be able to mount it. So just work your way down. You can start rolling it at this point because you're going to get caught up on those feet. You're going to have to be careful cutting them. And I'll get to that point in just a minute. But just be very careful working your way down because now you're getting to the section that we actually use. So now you're getting down to the front shoulder blades, the shoulders and all. So just start cutting around the legs right there, just being very careful with it. So you're just going to cut out one leg, start going around it very carefully from what you can see, just taking your time. I sped the video up so it wouldn't be quite as long. This was a 30-minute video. So just pull it down a little bit as you go, cut around it, and that's the important part of cutting the legs off where we did. So then you got to skin out that entire leg. Once you get to the nub of it, right at the end, you could just cut it off right where he's at there. Finish cutting out that leg, and then you move on to the next leg. Same thing here, just cutting around it very carefully, trying not to cut anything. And you're going to want to cut in between the legs also, but just barely touching it with a knife. If you have a sharp knife, it won't be hard. Just touch it a little bit and it should just come off very easily. So working your way down the neck more, you don't have to cut all the way to the head. That's the taxidermist's job, but he'll stop in a minute and I'll show you where you want to leave it at. So right here, you're gonna see where the white opens up right there, and that's where you can stop cutting at. You don't need to cut anymore. That's good enough. Just cut the neck off there and you're good to go. And that's it. Just leave that much on it and good to go. Thanks for watching.